Not much. I mean, players are resilient, and I would like to think coaches are too, but players are really resilient, and it's next man up for them too, And so when one guy goes down, another guy gets to step up, and we have so much trust in the guys, and some guys got an opportunity to show why we do trust them, why the teammates trust them. So you feel for Puka, you feel for anyone that gets injured, but it's next man up all the time in this league.
Puka handled so much of the workload last year, took a lot of pride in that too. Now that he's going to have to be recovering for a little bit, is this as much of a mental challenge for him as it is a physical recovery?
Absolutely. I think for any guy that's injured, particularly guys that absolutely love it like he does, and the passion that he plays with, and just like I said, the love that he has for this game. So, yeah, that's going to be the big thing. But the cool part is we don't have to worry about that, right? He's going to do everything he can to get himself ready to play when his time is up for him to be ready to play, and that's what's awesome about him.
Eric Yarber referred to Cooper as Coach Cooper.
Sure.
What have you seen from him as a mentor in that room, and how he's helped some of the other guys in that room?
Are you saying Cooper or Yarbs? Yeah, I mean he is. He's been came into this league as a smart football player, but obviously had to learn this game. He picked it up pretty dang quickly, obviously, just from afar, and now going into year 8 in this system. He knows the ins and outs of it, and so he can help these guys behind the scenes. We have to talk to a group as coaches, and then you try to have as much individual interaction as you can with these guys. But Cooper gets to obviously be with these guys one-on-one quite often, whether it be in the locker room or walkthroughs or just even routes on air. So all the little nuances and details that he can give them, from a player perspective, are huge. So guys look up to him. We learn from him as coaches, and he's got the respect of a lot of people.
With Yarbs, what are some of the things you notice about the way he puts guys in that room to succeed from a preparation standpoint, meetings, whatever it may be?
Yeah, I mean, again, I've only been here 2 years, but every year that he's been a receiver coach here, you've always from afar respected this group. One, because they play hard, and two, in my opinion, it's the most detailed receiver group in the league. And it starts with him. It starts with the standard he has. Guys buy into that. He's a good coach, but he's a better human. He's a better person. And again, players are going to respect that if they know that, hey, he cares about me and he just wants me to be the best I can be. So I know I love Yarbs, and I know the guys do too.
What did you see from Tyler Johnson that gave you confidence he could step into that role? And secondly, why didn't Blake Corum get an opportunity to run?
Yeah, I'll answer the second one first. I mean, it's just kind of how the game fell a little bit, So it got out of, with some of the stuff that was happening from a personnel standpoint, and then just kind of some of the schematic adjustments we had to make being week 1. It just kind of fell that way, and it was a different kind of game. It's hard to explain in a short time, but it's not going to be like that every week, and we're focused on this week and how that rotation is going to go. And then answer the first question with Tyler. I mean, he's played in this league, and we got him obviously a year ago, not right away, I can't remember the exact date, but as he's just kind of grown in this system and the little nuances that we're talking about that happen in that receiver room, he's on it. He's on his details. The game's not too big for him. He's tough. He's a big physical dude, and he's got confidence. I know most importantly Matthew and the guys have confidence in him. So, again, next man up, and he's that man up.
First game is always kind of seems like this outlier because you don't have a lot, and then the film study, and then you combine that with the injuries. Is there anything to gain from that? Like this week?
Yeah, there's nothing more than game experience. There's nothing more important than game experience, and whether guys play in the preseason or not. Obviously, you got training camp and the competitive practice, whether it be the joint practice. But there's nothing like going in there on Sunday when all the coaches are on off to the side, and you got 60 minutes, usually about 30 to 35 minutes of offensive ball to see, see what you've learned, and how you adapt throughout a game. So they got the speed of it down after week 1. I mean, there was a lot of things to clean up, but there are a lot of awesome things, too, that happen with these guys that we can continue to improve on but be proud of, So that week 1 to week 2 is usually a big jump for every team. I expect, whatever defensive mistakes they may have made or may not have, they're going to get corrected, and they're going to be a better defense than they were even a week ago. So it'll be a good one. It'll be a good competitive battle.
When the O-line gets shaken up that much in game, how as a coach are you trying to triage in terms of what those guys can do,
I don't know if that combination had ever worked together.
Yeah, and you know what? next man up and no one cares, and that's the truth. And so when it's happening in real time, I thought Sean did an awesome job as a leader, just kind of having that kind of next man up mentality. Hey, we're going to keep this thing moving. And I thought Wendy and the group, responded with it. So again, it's no one feels sorry for you. Injuries happen on their side too. I don't know if anyone got injured in that game, but I'm sure they did. And you just keep it moving.
Mike, Sean said that, and I know this wasn't literal, but basically ripping up the game plan that
Sure.
you guys came into the game with and then starting over. Can you define or describe a little bit more of what your specific role is in a sudden change like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it is today when we're on a walkthrough. It's communication at all times, and you just try to, when you're the one that has to hold the button to talk to the quarterback, I mean, you only have so much time, and so the communication between series, and that's just not just me, that's all of us, right? If there's something valuable to talk about, we're going to talk about, and Sean's as good as anyone I've been with that listens, and then, it's going to take the information and then call the best game possible. So I thought he did a tremendous job given the circumstances.
With how quickly things can change due to injury, how do you encourage or implore your young players, particularly Blake and Jordan, to just be prepared?
Yeah, I mean, again, with the guys that on the depth chart in front of them, what a great standard they show in terms of their preparation in the meeting room, how it gets taken out here to a walkthrough setting, and then how it follows through once we get into semi-live bullets, if you will, in practice. So I think each room has a pretty good veteran leader, even though some of the younger guys that have played, let's call them veterans because they've done good stuff with Kyron and stuff. So those guys, they got no choice but to watch, learn, and know if their number's called to be prepared.
This offense uses a lot of motion. What is important to you about utilizing that, and what information does that give you and Matthew?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of information it gives Matthew in real time, and then obviously, that it gives us. We don't, I like to say we don't motion just to motion because it looks cool. We're always trying to gather information, whether it's leverages, whether it's, schematic, whatever. I mean, again, that's a great question because you could sit here an hour and talk about motions, but we don't just do it to do it. We put some stress on our guys, but they understand the why, and because they understand the why, they're willing to do it at the level that, we're capable of. Thanks, guys.
What's up, guys?
Chris, how did Troy do with the dot?
Did a great job. Great command, and communicated with the guys. I thought he played really hard, played tough, and yeah, he did a great job.
I know he's been around for a while. He knows the defense. He knows you super well with that communication element. Has he improved to you from the summer until now from previous years when he was here?
He's had a great camp and a great first game. I'll say that. I think he's always been a really good player. I think there's just been certain situations where other guys have been really good around him, but every time he's gone on the field, he's produced. That the Super Bowl year, he had the mic in the 3 playoff games before the Super Bowl. So, and then Weddle had it in the Super Bowl. So, obviously an experienced guy, and yeah, he seems like he's had a great camp. He's moving great, and he's feeling really good. So, just got to keep him going.
Chris, when Aaron Donald retired, Kyler Murray posted, "Thank God." Curious what A, your reaction is that, and B, how do you make sure the pressure still comes even though AD's gone?
Yeah, I don't blame Kyler for saying that. I think a lot of quarterbacks around the league would be saying that. But hopefully we got some guys, to come in and apply pressure. And he's a great challenge, and we all know how much he can run around. But he's also a great quarterback, sees the field really well, gets the ball, really good skill, good line. So it's going to be a great challenge this week.
What did you think of Fisk and Verse there? How they used?
They were excellent. Verse from the first play, I think you felt his presence as far as how heavy he is on contact, getting off blocks, able to make plays. Fisk, you felt his sideline to sideline, his ability to chase the ball, make tackles from the D tackle position. So, I think obviously there's room for improvement for both of them, but good start for both.
What went into your decision to bring back John Johnson, and what do you think he brings to
it was something, Gary, we always kind of had, and we're kind of talking about in the back of our minds, and just kind of said, hey, let's keep in touch and see, before he signed anywhere, and see, he had an issue where he wasn't going to be healthy anyway throughout OTAs and stuff, and so it's something we'd kind of been talking about, kind of throughout OTAs and throughout the summer, and we're certainly glad we did. He's a great communicator, great command on the field, and I think you saw that on Sunday night.
The Cardinals have shown that they're very willing to play the style of football they ended last season with, where they're kind of loading up more and trying to play taking away from,
Yeah,
from the
no
other
doubt.
offense. And so I guess, particularly with the way overtime ended for you guys this last week with the run defense, what's the message this week with your guys as they continue to grow together and understanding that this heavy load personnel is probably coming at them on Sunday?
Yeah, you're exactly right. They can run it a bunch of different ways, the Cardinals do, and where they can get an 11 and kind of spread you out and run it, or they can get in bigger personnel, a lot of tight ends, and run it that way. So, it's going to be a great challenge, and, we got to be ready. We got to be sound in fitting the run. We got to be ready to hit blocks. We got to get off blocks, and it really all starts with just the simple fundamentals of that.
Coach, you guys did a good job in corralling Sam LaPorta. You guys didn't allow him to get off. You guys face another huge challenge in Trey McBride. What's your message to the team in terms of corralling him?
Yeah, he's definitely one of their key skill guys, and I think he's one of the more underrated tight ends in the league. I think since he came into the league a couple of years ago, we've kind of been noticing him. They love to give him the ball in space. They love to feature him, and so it's definitely a guy that's going to be a great challenge for us. And it's just a credit to our guys on Sunday night. Quentin Lake, John Johnson, all those type of guys, Cam Curl, that were up to the challenge of LaPorta, who I think is one of the best tight ends in the league. And Trey McBride doesn't, is certainly creates his own problems as well.
Chris Shula has been flying around on Sunday. What does he kind of bring to that linebacker unit, and how can he kind of help contain a guy like Kyler Murray? Yeah,
you said it. Why he flies around. He plays fast, and that's kind of how he's always been when he's played here. And when linebackers can play sideline to sideline, I think that's a good thing versus a guy like Kyler Murray, because he can run around, and I don't know if anybody could chase Kyler down, but at least he could kind of close some space towards Tyler to help other guys make the tackle. So he did a great job on Sunday night.
Two-part question, if you don't mind. Some of the inside linebackers were gushing about Cam Curl really playing with him and feeling him, not just when he's behind them, but when he's coming downhill to help them in their job. First, what does it mean when another position is talking that way about a safety, or when the linebacker's talking that way about a safety? And then second, what have you seen from Cam as you've gotten to know him?
Yeah, I would think, you'd have to ask Cam, but I would think it means a lot to them. I think, the compliments from their teammates, I would think would mean everything. So, and I could definitely see why they feel that way. And, I feel the exact same way. I love him out there, playing in the deep part of the field. He's got a great instincts, great plays calm in space. He's a really good communicator. And, at the point of attack, he's really good. So really happy he's on our defense.
How does the dynamic work with a guy like Kella Witherspoon? You guys don't re-sign him, but then you have a need and you get back in touch with him and he comes back into the fold. Is that Aubrey that kind of has most of the contact with him, or do you kind of address that?
No, it was definitely Aubrey and Sean really talked to him and really laid out the whole situation. And, being here last year and playing all 17 games with us, he obviously did a great job and played great, and he deserves that. And he deserves that. Exactly what we see the plan is for him and the role, and not that everything's going to be set in stone, but this is how we see it right now, not that it can change. And Aubrey and Sean did a great job kind of laying it out for him yesterday morning, so he'd feel good about coming back and joining us, and we're definitely happy he is.
Coach, adversity struck early in the game. What did you see from the defense, particularly the front seven, that allowed you all to get back into the game, and what encouraged you about what you saw against Detroit?
Yeah, I didn't see anybody flinching. I didn't see anybody, trying to point any fingers, blame anybody, whether it's the other side of the ball or anything. And just went out there and tried to do our job and play as hard as we can. And that's all you can do. The scoreboard doesn't really matter. You're going out there and trying to execute the call based off the game plan and play hard and hit blocks in pursuit of the ball. And I think they did that for the most part.
Is that especially impressive when you have such a young defense?
Young or not, we got to go out and play, so it doesn't matter. But was happy with the effort that they gave, and we definitely have a lot to improve on. But definitely happy, with the start. Obviously, we definitely would wanted to win.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.